open in the fall of '08.
Should we go ahead and get...
In elementary school for 26.
Let's go ahead and get started. We'd like to welcome you to the City of Saratoga Springs Planning Commission meeting for Thursday, April 24th, 2025. And we'd like to start with the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Commissioner Hill.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
So this evening, Commissioner Sprosky Burns is excused and all others are here. So it looks like we have a full group except for her. We'll now open it up for public input, and this time is set aside for the public input to express ideas, concerns, and comments for subject matter not listed as a public hearing on the agenda. So please be respectful of your comments, please avoid repetitive comments, and please limit your comments to 3 minutes. And if you are here for a public hearing, if you are here for a public hearing, please hold your comments until then. Is there anyone here for public input? Okay, seeing that no one is here for public input, we'll move forward. We'll go to the public hearing. The commission will accept public comment and make a recommendation to the City Council for the following item: amendments to Title 19 Land Development Code of the City of Saratoga Springs for retaining walls, Chapter 19.06, landscape and fencing citywide. City Initiative Planner Sam Stout. Thank you.
Then can I get access to the pointer? Perfect, thank you. Good evening. So this code amendment is first and foremost to comply with the 2021 IBC and IRC building standards, as well as the state of Utah amendments that they made. So the changes is that, so for this construction of retaining walls 4 feet or taller in height, of unbalanced fill, or for any wall supporting surcharge loads, the building permit must be obtained. And then as well as it's also specifying that how we're gonna measure, like if there's a fence built either on top of the retaining wall or below the retaining wall, it's gonna be from ground level to the top of the fence is how we're going to measure that. So this is basically just to make clarification and make sure that the city is complying with state as well as all building code.
All right, thank you. Any questions for him? All right, wonderful, thank you. Well, now we'll open this up for the public hearing. Is there any input from the public? All right, we'll close this portion of the public hearing and open up for discussion among the commissioners and questions. Commissioner Hill, please.
Sam, thank you. Again, as you mentioned, just to match that International Building Code, the IBC, again, staff indicated that it falls in line, it puts us in line with the recognized verbiage, and it's going to be much easier for us to be consistent with others that are following that IBC, so thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. Any other discussion from commissioners or questions? Okay, then, Commissioner Mann.
Yes, I'm wondering if you can define what unbalanced fill and what supporting surcharge load would be.
Well, I'm glad you asked. I was talking with our building official, Caleb Fishnick, just today to ask him. So I guess to support surcharge loads is if a retaining wall is built and then there's like a slope. If there's a slope either going up or down, it's to help with those unbalanced loads. And then with unbalanced fill, our wonderful city attorney may have more to that. But with unbalanced fill, basically, it's kind of the biggest reason why they made this change is because like there was sometimes retaining walls were being measured from like if it's below grade, and there's different like elevation changes to it. So unbalanced is pretty much whenever it's not on a steady surface.
Okay. Thank you. That's all I have.
Great. Thank you. Commissioner Miles, please.
Thank you. I just had a quick question. When we have these type of updates, is there an effective date when this takes place? Just once the city council votes on it, it becomes law?
Once you make a recommendation, it becomes pending ordinance. The city council, once they make their decision, will go to the code.
Gotcha. Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
So really, today would be the effective date.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussion? Okay, we'd like to open up for a motion. Yeah. Yeah, we had 7 people that shared things. It's okay, daydreaming. Thank you. Do we have a motion?
I'll go ahead and I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested code amendments to Chapter 19.06 with the findings and conditions in the staff's report.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. We have a motion. Do we have a second?
I am happy to second the motion.
Great. Now, how do I just light up all of the... Okay, we have a motion. We have a second. How do we turn them all on? That works.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. So it looks like we have, that motion is passed, and all were in favor. Thank you very much. Great job.
Sweet, thank you.
We go now to business items. The commission will discuss without public comment and may either make a recommendation to the city council or approve the following items as needed, and that is the Steel Ridge Lot 7 architectural update, major site plan amendment located at 3333 East Crossroads Boulevard, Blake Vandersteek? Okay. How do you say that name?
I pronounce it Vandersteek, but I don't know.
Okay, as applicant, please, Austin. Okay, thanks.
I've never met him in person, so no. Are you
Are you here for this one?
No,
okay?
no, I'm just,
You're just
hanging out.
Just hanging out, enjoying the show.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, no, the applicant, it doesn't look like they're here then. Yeah, I've only communicated with him via email and through the phone, so I'm not sure what Mr. Vandersteek looks like. But anyways, this request is coming through. So approximately a year ago, Steel Ridge Plaza, the site plan came through for Lot 7. They had a design for the building and everything, and it got approved by the city council. They've run into some roadblocks, and they want to change some of their materials on the building. And so, you know, some of them are hard to acquire. Some of the prices have changed, things like that. So their request is to change the architecture on this building. And so anytime we have a change to the architecture on a building, a commercial building, it becomes a major site plan amendment, which requires recommendation from the Planning Commission and an approval of the City Council. This is the location of Lot 7, so it's the southeastmost lot in Steel Ridge Plaza. And this is basically the corner of Crossroads Boulevard and Riverside Drive, just right before you get to the river on Crossroads Boulevard. You can see here, this is the site plan that was previously approved. So nothing on the actual site plan is changing. Parking stalls are staying the same, landscaping staying the same, locations of the buildings, all of that. None of that's changing. The only thing that is changing is the architecture and primarily the materials and the colors on the building. So this is what the buildings look like. We have two buildings, Building 4 and Building 5. These are the elevations for Building 4. These are the elevations for Building 5. And these are the materials that will be changing. So I've tried to draw some arrows from the old materials to the new materials. This is kind of messy, doesn't make a lot of sense. So I think it's better if we skip ahead to the images. Here we have the original rendering, so you can see what the buildings were going to look like. And then this is what they're now proposing that they'll look like. So this is Building 4. You can see it's showing the same building from different angles. They're using a different kind of stone, so that would stay the same. They're still using the black area is kind of like a metallic siding. And on the previous building, if we'll go back here, you can see it was in brown. That was also a metallic siding. So they're trying to, the metal still stays the same where there was metal on the building. And then the gray that you see here is kind of like it looks like a precast concrete. It's not precast concrete, but it looks like it. And then here is Building 5, which is similar architectural tones. These proposed changes do meet Title 19. It's really has to come here for your approval.
Okay, wonderful, excellent, thank you. Any questions for him? Please, Commissioner Carn.
This is in the plaza with the new R&R building, correct?
Correct, yeah.
I talked to the owner and developer of R&R, and they had made a complaint that the building right next to them was not required to have the same architectural look. And he went through an effort to comply with the architectural intention of this whole area. And so will this now be a third architectural, kind of aesthetic look for this kind of commercial park? Or does this match the car wash and the restaurant next to the car wash? Can't remember.
Yeah, that's a great question. So let me go back to I don't know if the site plan shows it. But
They'll all look different?
we don't have a good image of Sturbridge Plaza, but
There's 3 owners, and all 3 owners are doing their own architecture. So amongst the 3 owners, there's 3 different styles. 4, including the car wash, there's 4 different styles of architecture.
Is it the city's intention to have that be consistent?
We don't require that in the code,
No,
so we can't enforce it.
okay.
yeah, we have made them so their signage does have to all match. We've actually had them all sign an agreement that they will match their signage.
Okay.
And there's actually a document that says, they'll all have a black metal thing underneath. And then I can't remember the details of the color, but basically, so they do have to match the signage. The buildings, Sarah's correct, we're all different owners. So each owner kind of came with their own look. However, I should say that 2 of the owners, they hired the same architectural firm initially, and so you will, if this isn't working anymore. But that original one that I had up on the screen there, can we make the clicker work again?
Okay, try it again.
This one here. So this was supposed to be kind of the theme for a lot of the buildings in there were going to have this. However, the owner of Lot 7, which is just these 2 buildings, is saying they're having a difficulty. And the owner of the other lot, we've had to work with them. They've actually had some inconsistencies in their architecture, so maybe that's what R&R was referring to. And we've had to deal with them. We've had to meet with them as the city and potentially code enforcement and things like that to make sure that they're following the plans that were approved. And so there's been some issues there. These guys, they've so far, the owners of Lot 7 have followed the plans that they have. They haven't made any changes without permission from the city. They're trying to do it the right way, so they're coming to the city and saying, hey, we want to make some changes. Here's what we're doing.
Okay. And as long as they've met minimum requirements that we set forth in the architectural standards, they really have the right to do whatever they want. Is that right?
Yeah. It's basic. It's an administrative approval. So as long as they have, they're meeting a certain percentage of material and color and have a certain percentage of windows, our code doesn't say they can't change the colors, right? So
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Got it. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Carn. Commissioner Hill?
Well, we do pay attention to color. If it were yellow, orange, or something,
That's true.
but I really, I went through your checklist and everything was a comply, so we had nothing that wasn't in compliance with the code. The staff felt it was consistent. I kind of like that this is one of the buildings that are back and going to be on that east side entrance, and having that white, it's more inviting to me than having that darker color scheme. So I think it's going to give a nice look as you're coming in. So that's, I feel really comfortable, Austin, with what's happened. I'm going to ask a question that is completely off base, but, as you've been working with the owner, we're looking at 3 storefronts possibly in that unit, correct?
Correct, yeah, so there's,
Redwood or, Crossroads, there are more in the back, but.
Yeah, but in this particular, and it looked to me that one was going to maybe be a drive-up, is that correct?
correct, yeah, so there's 2 buildings, I wish I
Right.
would have had the site plan, or the floor plan.
Let me pull up,
Can you pull up the floor plan? That might be beneficial.
let me pull up a map that can show
Yeah.
you all of it together, because we don't have it,
Because that.
we have it on city map all together, so let me get into that and show you.
Further down.
I think that'll be the most helpful.
There's a car wash and then
Yeah.
another building.
Yeah, I think every building, if I'm not mistaken, every building in Stillbridge Plaza does have a,
Okay.
so for example, there may be one building that has 2 tenants, right?
Right.
And one is a drive-through, or it may have 3 tenants and one is a drive-through.
Just depending what they're able to build to suit the needs of the prospective tenants.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
The question that I would have, and not that we're discussing this, do we know what type of tenant is going to be there that has the drive up, and I'm just talking from a transportation standpoint. Is it going to be a big draw, or is it going to be more of a specialty? And they may have not disclosed that, and I understand that, but if we did know, it would just give some context to me.
Luckily, the aerial image got updated just a few days ago, so this, this is really accurate to where they're at today. There will be one more building on the corner here. So along the frontage there, you have R&R, and then you have, and I kind of want to click on some of these just to show you some of the lot boundaries. So R&R is this building here and this building here.
Right.
And that's one owner. And then Pepperdine is a different owner. And then the car wash. And then
That's where the
this
two.
is also Pepperdine. But then this one here is not Pepperdine. So we have 3 owners in here. And with that.
Or if you count
Or?
Thomas
Oh,
Car
the-
Wash.
Okay, so we aren't seeing, the color schemes and materials you're seeing on R&R, you're also gonna see on this building that will have the Fazoli's in it, but you won't be seeing that on these others. However, there is some similarities, as Austin mentioned. And then we have one more building here, so keep that in mind too. This one hasn't started yet.
Yeah, that, let's see,
And we can't announce their users unless they've told us they're users. So the ones that you're seeing on here are ones that we've got an application for. So you're seeing R&R Tactical, Brothers Barber, Fazoli's, Aiken Medical Spa, Fantastic Sam's, and Tommy's Car Wash. And then you're seeing Marco's Pizza and the Worst Smokehouse. And then Valet Clippers. So those are the ones we've received so far.
Okay. Thank you.
I just have one more question. Thanks. Obviously, a big draw like Chick-fil-A has multiple lanes. And some of the new fast food that have opened, like Jack in the Box or Raising Cane's, create a traffic problem when they're new, and hopefully that dies down. As far as the city can require, I guess, do we just give minimum requirements for a drive-through? And then if they're gonna need more than that, that's kind of up to them. And if it creates a traffic problem because of a big draw, there's nothing we can do about that.
We do have ones that are going to be a big draw like that, address that in their traffic report. So there are ways to ask for more if we know it's gonna be something like that. And generally, and I'll just use Chick-fil-A as an example, because they're here and that was brought up. So their concept with their 2 lanes is really on them. They could have brought it in with 1 lane. We don't have anything to code about that, but that was what they wanted to do. And, but if for some reason they hadn't done that and we thought there would be a traffic issue, we can ask them to address that in a traffic study.
Okay, got it. And that traffic study will be for when someone's applying to, not for the building, but someone's applying like to, yeah, to go into the building, basically.
Well, it would be at this stage, it would be, not this stage, because this is an amendment, but it would be at a site plan application. It's determined by engineering if the traffic study.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
The code just requires
3 stacking stalls for a drive-through. That's it. In Title 19 is 3 stalls.
Okay.
But as you mentioned, you know, if it was going to be a big draw and they only had a 3 stacking lane, then they're going to be parked out where people are coming in to park, and it's going to be a mess. So it behooves them to know kind of what they're doing and how they're doing it. Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion or questions? Okay, I'd like to entertain a motion. Okay, please.
I move that the Planning Commission forward a recommendation for approval of the requested major site plan amendment for Steel Ridge Lot 7 located at 357 East Crossroads Boulevard with the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Thank you. We have a motion from Commissioner Mann. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second from Commissioner Mangum. We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Looks like we have, this is passed. Let's go ahead and move down to the next item, approval of minutes, April 10th, 2025. Do we have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Please.
I make a motion to approve the minutes, the commissioner meeting minutes from Thursday, April 10th, 2025.
So we have a motion from Commissioner Mangum. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
And we have a second from Commissioner Hill. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed, say nay. Okay, it is passed. All has approved it. Then let's move down to reports. Do we have any comments from the commission? Okay, very good. And then time for a director's report, please.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't have it open, so give me a second. The most recent city council meeting was 2 nights ago. And the items on that meeting, we had quite a few actually. So just a second, almost there. There was a code amendment related to parking for bounce houses and trampoline parks. That was approved with a minor change to it. In the definition for bounce house, we mentioned that it's generally used by children, and that part was taken out. So there's no reference to any age group. So feel free not to feel restricted at the next bounce house you attend. And there was a request for a street name change called Buckhorn Bath. I don't recall if you guys saw that. Did you see it back at the end of last year? Maybe that only went to council. And that was requested by a resident. City staff did a survey on that and pulled the street that would be affected, and the majority were against that change. So the city council did vote against changing that. The resident who asked for that request was concerned that there were issues when they called dispatch. There was difficulty understanding the street name. I think it's the double B and the TH that on the phone that can make it a little jumbled up. So anyhow, because the majority of the residents on that street were not supportive, then the council didn't approve that. And I think that only had to go to them, but now you know about it. So we also had the community plan and village plan amendments that you guys saw at your previous meeting. We quickly took that to council, sorry, for the Viviano. But you guys saw those at your previous meeting, and that got approved by council as proposed, including the exception on some of the rear elevations. And then we held a work session on Three Canyons. The Larry H. Miller project has chosen the name Three Canyons. We held a work session on that just with the council this time because they have some clarifying topics for the council. And then we also held a work session on Wildflower Village Plan 5. The commission saw that over a year ago, and it went to the council and got tabled, and now it's just now coming back to the council. So you guys won't need to see that again. But it's the proposed office warehouse project at the intersection of Mountain View Corridor and SR 73, the what's northwest corner. I don't know if you have any questions about that. I'm happy to share, but you don't need to see it again. The Planning Commission at that time made a recommendation for approval, and it's just taken a while to come back to the council after it got tabled. So we'll see how that goes. That was a work session, so they could get some clarifying direction on that, and then they'll go to the council for decision. And then our next meeting will be May 15th, and be prepared for a long meeting. So we have probably the biggest agenda you've seen in over a year for that meeting. So just make sure and, eat ahead of time, bring your snacks, however you want to do it.
We can't wait.
Okay.
Awesome. Do we need a closed session? All right. Well, thank you so much for being here tonight. This meeting is adjourned.
Thanks, everybody.